Hi sewing friends, my name is Karina. Welcome to my channel Lifting Pins and Needles, and today I have a really nice dress to show you. So a while back Elizabeth from Elizabethmadethis and I were discussing our plans, I'm gonna make this and whatever, and we decided to do a collaboration on the Jessica dress by MimiG. So I showed her that I was planning to do it. She also liked it, and we decided to make one, both of us, and then just see what we come up with. So please go and watch her video on the same dress. Now what we decided to do was make the bodice of the dress, just use the bodice and do our own thing with the skirt piece, just to use our creative juices, So I'll put a line drawing here of the Jessica dress by MimiG. Now she has a full tutorial on the dress on YouTube. You can get it for free if you sign up for her newsletter. So I will link down below in the description box the link to her blog post on this and how you can get the pattern, because it's a very, very nice pattern. So it has basically a sweetheart neckline that I love. It's got princess seams, it's got thin straps, it's also got like seams at the back, so it's lots of pieces to make your bodice. But that's cool because for me, the most pieces you have, the better chances you have of like fitting it to yourself and getting better fit, So yeah, that is the main bodice. Now the first change I wanted to make from the get-go, I didn't want to do that placket thing with the crossover and the buttons. No matter what I do, even if the thing fits right, I always feel I'm gonna bust out of my bodice if I have buttons going down. So yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. I need to feel safe when I'm walking around in my dress. And that's why I barely ever have stuff with buttons down, like, not that I don't like them, but I just think they don't add anything to me. And they just make me feel a bit unsafe, having a larger bust, So I decided to not do that. Now this pattern, it doesn't come with cup sizes, so I assume it's drafted for a B cup. I assume. It comes with a pretty large range of sizes, but it doesn't come with sizes that are like in numbers. It's like extra, extra small to like extra, extra large, basically. So I decided to make a toile, a wearable toile first, because I wanted to test the bodice, and because of all the pattern pieces that go in there, I think, yeah, I'm not going to dive into my beautiful fabric straight away, as I usually do. So I will insert a tiny video of me showing the adjustments I made to the bodice. So that's coming in now. Okay, so this is the Jessica. There's MimiG. Now I have drawn a black line there, sort of raising that neckline, still keeping the sweetheart, but I think for me and my large bust, that low would be, yeah, it wouldn't be good for me. So I decided, just eyeballing it, I'm going to raise that neckline 5 centimeters, start from there. So I have drawn my adjustment here. I have raised the neckline there. And instead of those tiny, tiny straps, I'm just going to make them as wide enough to cover my bra straps, which is like 2.5 centimeters wide. So I'm not going to use the skirt. I'm not doing that crossover with button things. I'm just going to do, modify that middle panel and just have one on the fold. So I made that adjustment by raising those 5 centimeters I was going to use. Now this pattern comes with a 1 centimeter seam allowance. So actually these 5 centimeters that I've raised is actually, let me turn this around so you can see. That's the edge original. I raised it by 5, but it's actually 4 because there's a 1 centimeter seam allowance included there. So I've done that for all. About the skirt for my final dress, like for my real one. I'd just been thinking and I couldn't think, and I knew I wanted it to be a fitted style, like a pencil skirt style, but it had to have a twist. Yeah, I just had to do something different. I wasn't just gonna do the same boring skirt as I did on the toile. So I have a nap every day, and when I wake up, that middle state of like you're sort of awake but you're sleeping, and yeah, I don't know what was going on in my head, but I saw the image of what I wanted in my dream as I was waking up. And I was like, oh, I ran over to my sewing room, grabbed a piece of paper and just like drew it. And I draw, like my drawing skills are horrible. Like I'm sure your baby, your toddler can draw better than me, but I did manage to like throw my idea onto paper so that I wouldn't forget. So I'm going to insert a little video here of me showing you what I want to do. So I have drawn here my idea. This is like, your 5-year-old can draw better than this, right? So here is my bodice. You can see the princess lines there, just this one piece on the fold, the sweetheart neckline. And then for the skirt, I want a pencil skirt because it's my preferred type, but with a twist. So I'm gonna draft my own pencil skirt to match this bodice. So my skirt will be made just for this bodice, right? Because I want these lines to match up. So there is going to be a line there, and then on this side I want some ruching or pleating or some sort of detail there. So there's going to be excess fabric there. So basically what you do is you take that piece there, you make some lines across it, and you basically slash and spread, something like that. And then you're going to have this like weird curved thing that's going to attach to there and achieve that. Now top, you can see my two rectangles there. So I drew a line there. From here to here is 28 centimeters, and from there to there is 28 centimeters. Why 28 centimeters? Because it's a quarter of my hip. So my hip is 112 centimeters divided by 4 is 28. So that is why my rectangles measure 28 centimeters by the total length that I like my skirts, 60 centimeters, you know. Anyhow, I measured the pieces of the bodice, and that is how I got to have that hip curve there of only 2 centimeters. And it's the same for both. So that 2 centimeter dart, once I close it, it's going to match exactly my bodice. And I opted to leave out the darts on the front. I don't think they're necessary. Actually out front, the front part of us is pretty flat usually. You don't have a bottom like at the back of you. So sometimes you can get away with not having that little dart there. So I just left it, you know. This is going to match my bodice, and this skirt is only going to be good for this bodice. It's not going to be like any good for any other bodice, you know. Now for the bottom, I want it to go in to my leg. So from there, which is the edge, you know, I've taken it in 2 centimeters, and then I've tapered out to the widest part of my hip there. I've told you before that mark there is 20 centimeters from my natural waist down, and that is where my hip is at the widest. Now that is different for different people. If you're a bit smaller, it might be 18. If you're on the larger sizes, it might even be 22. So you got to measure yourself and figure that out. So for me it's 20. So that curve is there, 20, the same there. That dart there is 12 centimeters down and 2 centimeters in depth. And from the edge there, I've tapered this to the center front down 2 centimeters, because, you know, we're not square. We do have a curve around us, and at the back that curve is more pronounced than on the front. So on the front it just tapers down 1 centimeter to the center front, and to the back 2 centimeters to the center back. So I'm ready to cut out my pattern pieces, and then I have to play with this front pattern piece. So the back is going to have nothing special. All the fun is going to be had on the front. So I've got one full pattern piece for my front part of the skirt, so that would be on the fold, but I'm not going to do it like that on fabric, so I made one whole pattern piece for the front. Now I've written here, this is going to be on the right side of my body, and that is going to be on my left side of my body. Now I always get confused with those things, so I made sure to write that down there on my pattern. This is the lateral bit there that is going to have a seam, and that is going to meet with one of the panels up on the dress. So I drew that disgusting thing. So this little thing there is that piece there, and this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make some cuts, and then I'm going to spread, and that will make this open, this part open, while keeping this part the same. So yeah, I'll do that now. So I had a think, and I measured from the side of me up here down, and I decided I'm gonna start all this ruching about 10 centimeters down from my waist, and it's just gonna be a small piece, 20 centimeters. So if I make a mark every 4 centimeters, I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines that I'm gonna cut. So I've measured that for a 12, you know, every 4 centimeters there, and I've marked the same over there. So I'm not gonna make the cuts all the way to that seam. I'm gonna stop a little bit before. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw these. What I'm going to use now to spread each one of these and transfer that to another paper. So here we have the skirt, the front. I've chopped up this part. That is the lateral bit that's going to go attached to that. I've marked little lines there like notches so that I can know where to attach things afterwards. So I'm going to get rid of that. I've pinned that to the paper so it doesn't move, and now my idea is that I'm going to open this. For each of these cuts that I've made, I'm going to try and leave an opening between them of about 2 to 3 centimeters each. So that's what I'm going to work on now, and then I'll show you what I come up with. So I've made all the cuts. Each of these separations are 2.5 centimeters. So I tried to make them quite, I went and I tried to true out the side seams there as much as I can. Now this top part there, I actually got the corner of that, put it with a pin and pivoted that up there so that I get exactly the same amount of waist circumference there. I don't want to alter that. So that gave me 3 centimeters there in excess that I took out from there. So if I move that, I've trued out that there. So I've made those corrections. So now I'm going to take all these rubbish stuff out and show you what the pattern piece looks like underneath. So look at this weirdness. This is the piece that was from the original skirt. There are the notches that match up to my new pattern piece. I'll take that aside. And see that slant going up, and then there's a bit of a slant down here as well, but not that much at the bottom as at the top. I've marked in pink where my pleats are going to be, and I actually drew the direction from which the papers were there. You can see they're slightly slanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin those together to even out this there, and then I'm going to trim it. So look at this weirdness. It turned out being sort of like that. So it looks very bizarre, but I'm trusting the process. When this was pleated, this was actually a straight line, that as it was, you know. When I let it go and opened it all up like that, then it turned into a weird shape. But I am trusting this. I am going to make it, and it's going to look amazing. Cool. I am now going to show you the finished dress. and the fabric is just a dream. It's a stretch cotton sateen with a navy background and lots of flowers. This is one of the fabrics I bought here locally. The first fabric haul I ever showed here in Brazil, I showed this fabric, and I bought 1.2 meters of fabric, and I was able to like get everything I needed from that, and I had literally shreds, scraps left, like there was nothing left. So here is my dress, here is the bodice, very nice, it fits beautifully. Look at these straps. Now I'm gonna tell you, these straps took a bit of work, and because I was able to get my strap pieces with the fabric stretching. So this is one-way stretch. It stretches horizontally, there's no vertical stretch. So I was able to get my pattern pieces with the stretch like going down. So these would have been like stretching down. I don't want stretchy straps, I want them firm, you know. So I interlined them with just any fabric underneath, very thin lining fabric that had no stretch. I interlined them, and then to turn them around, oh, it was a nightmare. But now I have straps that just don't stretch. So I eliminated that stretch by interlining it with a fabric that has no stretch inside. You know, that's a little trick for you. There was no other way I could get my strap pieces on to the direction where they had no stretch. I mean, down vertically, you know, couldn't do it. So yeah, it's a very beautiful dress. And the skirt, now I chose a print, and you won't appreciate the ruching here on the side. That is very unfortunate. You can appreciate it when I'm wearing it, but anyway, if you can see here, there's these little pleats here. There's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you have a little bit of excess fabric there that goes off to the side and attaches to that lateral piece there that goes there. So yeah, the drafting I did on the skirt turned out beautifully. On the back, I was able to match the back darts of the skirt with the piece there on that side. So you can see there, I worked really hard to get all these seams to match. No zipper required. I never need zippers, you know. I just don't do them. And plus, this is stretchy. Look, it has a nice stretch. Like, I can just wiggle myself in. So here you can see I couldn't get enough fabric of the main fabric to make this lateral panel there, so I just used my stretch satin, and that's fine. I can't say how important it is to line with stretchy fabric if you're using stretchy fabric on your main fabric, you know, or else you're not going to fit in there. So yeah, that's that. It's all understitched in there. Very easy because you can just go all the way around, you know, the straps are in there. Then for the skirt, I didn't do the ruching because why? The ruching is like a design feature, it's not a fit feature. So the lining inside is just a basic skirt, basically, like there's nothing special with the lining inside, same as the back. And on the back, for the darts that the skirt has, I just made them pleats inside for the lining. I never actually sewed darts in the lining because you can appreciate the detail on photos rather than just me showing. I'm going to show you some pictures, see really the details of how that ruching looks and fits. So that's coming in now. Very happy with this make. Very excited now to go and watch Elizabeth's dress as well, because I'm sure she's made something amazing. She's so talented, and she's always like she's always going the extra mile to like make something extra creative, you know, as her slogan is, so something creative. Yeah. I try to be creative too. With my design here, I did what's sort of my style and what I like to wear. So I hope you enjoyed watching that was entertaining for you. That is all for now. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and press the notification bell as well, so you never miss a sewing tip with me. Bye. Have fun sewing.